What was the issue between her and Luna backstage?
Well, I mean, some people would come off and say Rena was aloof, didn't get along with the girls as well. I mean, there's different sides of stories, and I really like Luna. I mean, she was crazy funny, and it seems like me and Goldust were kind of the trying to keep the peace between us because when we had matches, the chemistry was incredible. I mean, Rena didn't even know how to wrestle, but we could do enough where the place we'd blow the roof off the building because it was once they got in the ring and Rena attacked Luna or Sable attacked Luna, the place went crazy, So we build up for that whole thing, and Luna played that role so well. And Luna being a top wrestler that she was, obviously working with someone who's never wrestled before to make him look good, there may be some, and I'm not saying there was because I can only look at it back now and say maybe there's egos involved, maybe there was animosity, maybe Rena was aloof to her in the dressing room. Whatever it was, there was friction there. And but Luna never brought in the ring or never hurt Sable. She never was unprofessional, but she voiced her opinion backstage, and it was just an unfortunate situation back then.
Well, the one I was involved in was so I was sitting. I hung out with Stephanie McMahon a lot, so I'm sitting there eating lunch with Stephanie, and Mark and Sable come in and sit next to Stephanie, which they never do. Like, but I'm there, and I'm like eating. I'm like, what's this about? So I'm just wondering. And next thing you know, the friggin' door. This was in the Pyramid in Memphis. The door of catering kicks open. Luna comes and she goes, Sable, I would never hurt you, but Mark Merrill, I'll bite a chunk out of your face before you knock me out, you son of a bitch. You stay out of her matches. So I guess he was always just trying to like change her match around. And she was like, not going to hurt Sable, I'll do this and this and that. So like Luna lunged at him, and then like Shane drug Luna out, and Vince and Godfather and all them sitting over there. Everybody's sitting right there, and I'm like, like, hey, I go to eat again. I look at that. I go to eat. Like, this didn't happen, right? You just, you didn't know sell it. And like, you should get called. Your wife's getting dragged out. You're just like, okay. And then Mark said something like, see what? I have to put up with that guy. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, So I put my fork down and I go, listen, I don't care what you guys' problems are with each other. I don't care. I got to hear it. I don't want to hear it from her. But I'm going to tell you this. You're not going to talk about her like that while I'm eating dinner right in front of me. And then he cut a promo on me saying I had no respect for him. He was trained by Malenko or something. I go, I didn't even know you were trained by Malenko. It tells you how much I know about you, and I don't care. Then I got kind of hot. So you can put a dress on, have your wife beat you every day of the week if you want. It's not my fucking problem. Leave me the fuck out of it. And then he said he was going to whip my ass. And so I don't think so. And then I got hot, and I got up and flipped the table over in catering with Stephanie, Vince, everybody. I told him to get up. And he wouldn't fight. He just kept putting his hands on there. He says, come on, get up, I'll be your golden glove. Like, well, I ain't fighting you. So I went to go hit him, and Draws grabbed me, Darren, and he drugged me out. So now I'm great. I'm in trouble now. So so I don't see Luna or Sable and all them. I'm out wandering, and Stephanie comes up and goes, my dad wants to see you in the office. They're all waiting on you in there, right? So I go in, and it's Mark and Sable over there. Luna's sitting here. The only spot left is Vincent's desk. So he's not in there yet. I figured I'm fired. So I sit down, put my feet up, and Vince comes in. He goes, And I start laughing. He goes, he almost cracked a smile, but he didn't. He just gave me that look, that weird look. He goes, why do you find this so funny? And I go, they got me. He goes, what do you mean? Go, they drugged me into this bullshit. I could give less about all this. They got me. And he goes, yes, they did. And if you hit them, you're fired. Now get out of here. And he kept them in there forever. I think they all got fined and in trouble. But he just laughed because I just laughed. I thought I was gone for sure. I mean, I flipped the table up in catering, and I think that's probably the incident you're talking about. There could have been a couple though. She always had some kind of incident. She just she really tried really hard with Sable, and I think Luna just felt unappreciative. Like WrestleMania came, and they did a WrestleMania match, and they came back and. They had flowers and everything, and I think for one brief second, Luna thought, and they were like, you did it, they did it. And they like kind of, it's like you see in a movie, they pass over and they go right to say, wow, you did it, you're perfect. And Luna, like she kind of no-sold it, but like one of my favorite people in the world, Owen Hart, like she went over behind a spot, big makeup box, and went to go crying. And Owen came up and goes, you did great, Owen turned around, he saved her. Like Luna probably would have like that was there. So like I think she just felt really unappreciated. Like she knew wrestling was going towards beauty and TNA and not so much talent, but she was trying really hard. But then nobody would even give her like, "Hey, that a girl," you know.
So I guess you didn't feel too bad for Miro when Brock Lesnar stole Sable away from him.
Yeah, I didn't care. But I heard he's all turned around and giving motivational speeches. No, I'm only a guy that stays mad for like 2 minutes. I get mad for 2 minutes. I don't
speeches.
Like,
He's paid a lot of money for those speeches.
well, there you go. Like if I could get a speech and paid, I'd do it too. But no, I have a temper of all of 2 minutes. That's why I don't like doing like these kind of interviews and stuff. Because I'll say something I shouldn't say, but it's the truth, anyways. But I'm never mad more than 2 to 5 minutes. I'm like, get over things.
I was watching some of the Florida wrestling clips before this interview, just to come up with some question ideas, and I love how you guys pulled off the cult gimmick, not just you and her, but the whole group of you. It was very believable. You very much had the Charles Manson thing going on. It was quite something. It's too bad that wasn't done on a bigger stage, but you were very successful in your territory.
Well, one of the ones that was so good was Luna Vachon. The Luna actually really kicked it off because we did a thing where, again, Wrestle of the Year was between me and Barry, and she was supposed to be, at the time, she was coming down from one of the magazines as a representative. She chose Barry. I slapped her. And when we got back to the dressing room, she said, "Is that all you got, pussy? I'm a Vachon." And what happened was they suspended me from TV until I would apologize. So I went 2 weeks without being on TV. The third week, she's sitting with Gordon, and she was, at the time, a 19-year-old little girl. And I said, well, Gordon says, "Mr. Sullivan, you have something to say to Trudy." And as I went to say something, she said, "Before you say anything, Mr. Sullivan, I want to talk." I said, "Okay, go ahead." And she said, "When you touched me, I felt something I've never felt before. I felt like a woman for the first time." She said, "I want to follow you." And I said, "Well, you got to sacrifice something." And that's when we shaved half her head. Now, even if you didn't believe in wrestling, what lovely looking girl is going to shave half her head? And people were taken back from that. Luna was a very intricate part of that whole angle. And Luna, as everybody knows, was as tough as nails. I got to tell you a real quick story. Years later, I'm at a spot show, and Luna's with Gangrel, and there was a manager out there, and the manager screwed up the spot. And Mike Graham and I were in the dressing room, and we were going to work together. And I'm tying up my boots. Mike's tying up his boots. And all of a sudden, I hear this screaming, and the manager comes in, crawling on his hands and knees, and Luna's kicking him in the ass and slapping his head. And one of the guys looks at me and Mike and said, "Hey, aren't you going to help him?" And I said to Mike, "Oh, we've seen this act before." And everybody started laughing. Luna was a wonderful human being. She really was.
Well, what happened was, and I'm not going to say her name because she died, and I love her to death. We all love her. You remember the one with the shaved heads on the side?
Luna Vachon.
I don't. Damn, you had to say. Now I can't tell the story.
No,
But
that's
one night we were at my house. This is back when we did cocaine. We don't do cocaine no more, as far as I know. But back then we did. I mean, shit. We didn't even hide it. We poured it on the table. All you do is get a straw out of the mountain. It'd be like $5,000 worth of cocaine right there. But that was a good party because you knew people were going to be fucking all weekend. You either be part of it or you can watch it. Hopefully you were a part of it. But the cocaine always helped. You know, that's back then. We don't do that much anymore. Um, but back to the story. I forgot what it was.
You were talking about the Undertaker and Luna.
Oh, Luna. Oh shit, that's her name. We went home after a 10 day tour, and we were friends. And I like to think we were friends when the accident, when she left the world. But we were friends. But we actually, because what's his name with the fangs? What's his name?
Gangrel.
Gangrel. No, I love him, man. Me and him are so good friends, and they were dating at the time. And I don't mess with married people or somebody even dating because to me, I ain't got many standards. I ain't got many morals, but that one because that's like under God's eyes. Y'all love each other, and I'm gonna step in the middle of that. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm. No, why? Look at all these free bitches. Why am I gonna step in one locked up? So not. But we did so much cocaine that weekend and drank a lot. I don't drink that much. Where's that bottle at, brother? Huh? Oh, okay. But anyway, here's the thing, and my girl Tara, she's gonna get upset if she ever sees this, but it was one of the girls I was seeing there in Orlando at the time. Um, I straddled her. We were all partying. We were all drunk. We were all cocaine. We were all, and I got over top, like my knees over her shoulders, and I'm over top, and she's blowing, and look, the girl snuck up from behind, and I'm reaching back like it's me, like doing the finger thing into her, right? But it wasn't me. It was the friend. And then, so I got it covered because I'm back here like it's me doing it. My arm, back here, and she's blowing me, and this is horrible. But she's, I'm getting it, and then all of a sudden her eyes get wide ass open. I'm like, what? Luna, whoever it was back there, started licking her. Well, I'm right here. It couldn't be me licking her, right? And she's trying to look around the corner, like get around, look. And I'm like, shit. and then she saw the shaved head, and she went crazy. She had a fit, man. She broke everything in the house, which I felt bad about because we should have told her, look, Luna, I mean, a friend's going to sneak in and lick your foot here down there while you're blowing me. I think if we would just told her, she would have said, "No, okay."
You ended up bringing Luna, I guess, into the mix shortly after that, managing you guys as the Blackhearts.
Right. We were doing a small show in South Florida, and she came up and goes, "I love that gimmick. I love that character. I want to manage you." And that's how that happened. Yeah.
Right, and I guess she was dating Tom at the time.
No, she was with Dick Slater at the time.
Oh, yeah. I read online that there was some like abuse stuff going on there allegedly.
Yeah. Like Slater. Yeah, there's some stuff like that. And she was trying to get away. And next thing you know, like Tom, he had always had this huge crush on her. Like I was scared of Luna. I had never had a good experience with her. I mean, first time I met Luna, I was sitting in a Florida Championship locker room, and the door kicks open. She just got her nose broken, and she's bleeding all over the place. I'm sitting by the Nasty Boys, and she breaks in. She looks at me, blood everywhere. She goes, fresh meat. I like scurried around. I said, I don't know if you can cuss on here or not, but that bitch is crazy. I don't want nothing to do with her, you know. Then the next time I see Luna, she scaled her wall or something. She wanted to go to wrestling school, and Tom, you know, we seen her at the show, and she said she loved that gimmick, so she wanted to go train at Rusty's wrestling school. And Tom's like, we got to go pick Luna up. I go, oh, I don't want to go by that woman. Like, I was legit scared of her. I'm like, that bitch is crazy, you know. Like, so he talks me into it. She somehow snuck out, because she was still with Slater at the time, somehow snuck out of the apartment. And we get in her car. She wants me to drive. She's been drinking with Three Finger Denise all day, this other lesbian girl. They was training to wrestle. They were drinking margaritas all day. So they're hammered. Get them in the car. And then I'm driving down 95 to the wrestling school. Next thing you know, Luna climbs over the front seat, jumps on me, starts punching me in the face. Why don't you like me? She rips my shirt off. And I'm so mad by the time I get to the wrestling school. I'm like, talking to Rusty, she's crazy. I'm going to kill her. You know, he's like, I 6 later, the lady. You don't touch her. I'm like, it's Luna. You just don't mess around. So I went in the ring to go. I was just, call it chaining or wrestling, move for move, whatever. And just trying to burn off some steam. Out of nowhere, like Luna just drops on my back and bites me right in the center of my back, latches on like a pit bull. And I'm spinning all over, running off, trying to get over. The only way I can get her off was I jumped through the ropes to break the contact on. And I had a scar, like, just was bleeding, a big bite mark on my back. So I ripped her up. I had her up against the thing and was going to kill her. And I go, no, that's Dick Slater. You can't do that. It's Luna. You can't let her go. You redneck. You know, like, I went all whiskey tango, white trash. You know, I'm like ready to fight a woman, like, not curse, you know. So I go out and then I let her go, and I went and I kicked every mirror off her car. I kicked the car doors in. And before that scar healed on my back, we were best friends and then a couple somehow. That's why I always call her a vampire. That's why I always trace that back, her being a real vampire. She bit and turned me. So to go back to where we started, because I have ADD, to the Dick Slater thing, yeah, she said it was, I never seen it. I can't personally say it, but I mean, if a person will jump out of a window to get away from somewhere, maybe there's something going on wrong, you know. Third story window. So then one day we went and did all that wrestling thing, but in between that whole bite mark and all that me and her becoming best friends, getting together, like one day she turned up and they said they got married, her and Tom, like, because she didn't want to go home or something. They got married, and that lasted a week or something. And then eventually we were together for 18 years.
So were you with Luna when she was signed to WWE?
Yes. One at a time, most.
Yeah, the first time, I guess.
Yeah.
Was that tough at all, like having a girlfriend that's in WWE? Yeah.
Sure, because it was my tapes that I was sending from Puerto Rico. She got hired on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was valeting. She came down to Puerto Rico, and I was sending all the stuff in, and they called her off of that. Well, but she has a Vachon name, right? She has a family name and all that. But they'd seen her on that, and they brought her in. So yeah, that's hard. You're like, oh. You know, you get the boo-boo face, you're pouting, you know, and you want to be there. And then they're always on the road. It's just the road life, you know, the ifs and what's going on. None of that's easy, you know, but it is what it is.
And speaking of the Vachons, did you have much contact with her uncle, Mad Dog Vachon?
No, not Mad Dog so much. Like, when he found out me and Luna were going to get married, he told me he would rip my head off, basically, and crap down my throat or something if I heard it or something. I said, it's the other way around. But not much. Her dad, though, I would talk to her dad. I haven't talked to him in a while. I feel guilty. I need to reach out and make a call. I talked to mutual friends of his that let me know how he's doing a lot.
Yeah, he lives in New York or something now.
Is he back in New York? Because he was in Vermont before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know he's been in Vermont, but he might move again. He's always traveling. He's still running the roads when he can, when he's not.
Yeah, he travels for the winters or something.
Yeah,
last I heard.
Yeah, he's gypsy.
So did you ever actually have much one-on-one contact with Maurice Vachon?
No, not the Mad Dog. Just the hello here and there. Not too much at all.
He's, I guess she inherited a lot of his personality.
She was trying to live up to him all the time. Her aunt Vivian Vachon, which was the queen of wrestling. I don't know if you ever seen that.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
And she really, really admired her aunt and loved her aunt, but she loved how her uncle was respected. I think that era, that toughness, like Luna had a really soft voice, but she ripped her vocal cords, permanently damaged them, trying to talk like that Mad Dog all the time, you know, like she really went above and beyond her way to try to be like her uncle, which, you know, she would get, you know, fighting, protecting wrestling. I mean, we'd be in the Denny's and somebody go, oh, that wrestling. boom, across the table, she's running, trying to pull somebody's eye out, you know, because her uncle pulled an eye out of somebody, you know. So she would like, she was always like fighting in the name of wrestling, but it was also, I think she was trying to live in that shadow for Uncle Mad Dog. You know?
Yeah, because for people that don't know, in the old days when there was no cell phones and it was a lot less common to get sued by people, he would actually like rip someone's eye out with his thumb if they called wrestling.
Wow, yeah, and squish it on the floor.
You couldn't get away with
the
that
stories. I mean, you hear stories about him trying to take the plane door off and thing. You know, all the other wrestlers, they were just like. I remember the only time that they said, "Hey, Matt," they came up to me and they were running around. We were at TV in like Omaha or somewhere, and they were like, "Mad Dog wants to see you." And they were all like super nervous. Everybody was on edge around Mad Dog. They showed respect, but at the same time, I think they didn't know quite what Mad Dog would do. You know what I mean? So I go in there, and then that's basically he says, "If you hurt my niece, I'll rip your head off." And I'm like, "Yes, sir." Yeah, so I didn't have that. That's about the longest conversation I had with him. Like, his point was made, and I was like, "Cool." Yeah.
What led to your divorce from Luna? Just
we're partying. We couldn't. Yeah, I was gonna kill her. Or she was gonna kill me. It was just. I mean, the people you hear about the stuff. Like I could tell you what we were doing, and you wouldn't even believe it. You'd be like, that can't be possible. I go, every night for a long time. So like, it's just that was all. It was just, and so with all that fueled in there, and then a lot of the, the wrongs, like back and forth being on the job. So you throw all the drugs mixed there in the end. She's my best friend. We still talk like every 2 weeks, after like I'd still talk to her. Like we just couldn't get over stuff anymore, especially with all the drugs being involved, so.
And I guess ultimately that's what led to her passing.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, when I read what she had in her, that was nothing. I guess her body, though, when she went to rehab, shocked it, and then shocked it again when she started back or whatever. It was sad. Yeah.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.